Oh, well, this sucks. Dospook, my favorite YouTuber, is made a leaving announcement. Hopefully, it's one of those ones that doesn't last. Yeah, naturally, I immediately assume it's all about me, and that is because I put the spook in one of my first two groups, my test groups on my YouTube interface project. And artists hate that; they hate to be grouped, or labeled, and so that was probably it. And it also emphasizes this us versus themness, or seems to, but it doesn't really, because the kind of group system I'm making, it's not the kind of group you join and then it protects you with this aura of you're part of the group. Now your flaws are covered in our flaw covering policy. We'll just beat up anybody that brings up your flaws. It's not that kind of group. Being a group brings scrutiny. It means light is being shown onto what you're doing in your interactions. So I think it's an artist-friendly kind of grouping where we name a phenomenon and a feeling, or we decide to capture something in a word, not to limit it, but just to have it for a moment in some form. But yeah, it probably has nothing to do with that. But still, it's funny because seriously, literally, Da Spook, I don't know if you're on watching or whether you're one of the people that after you quit don't watch and you're gone or what, but Da Spook is literally one of the main reasons I wanted a different kind of subscription box. I mean, not just him, but it's what the reason that I wanted a different style subscription box is because of people like Das Spook that only put out a video every once in a while, and I want to see every one because, I mean, if I'm watching someone, I'd probably like to watch every video, but if you're doing 10 minutes, a half an hour a day, and I don't get on the internet for a day or two and watch, then I get behind. So just by the fact that it's less frequent, I'm more likely to want to watch each one, and then I really like his/your if you're watching videos and just perspective. So, those kinds of people are the ones that are flooded out in the YouTube subscription box. I subscribe to AP and Al Jazeera and Russia Today, and those guys put up a lot of videos because it's just press release all day long. And so, I see Das Spook videos when I go and search, check. So with my system, it was ironic because the subscription system is broken anyway at YouTube, and even if it was working, it's broken. So I've been checking, the people in my Semerge group through my site, and so I saw it right away because it's just among those group of people, and he'd made a video, so he was at the top, and the video he just made was the first one there. And it's how this will be the last video, as well as the first, you ever find of mine with your tool. Ha ha. Wrench in your works. Hey, software is artwork too, Duspook. What if I needed you were one of the pigments in my artwork, and no, I'm a human being. I will decide for myself. Yeah. Well, I totally approve of the vision you described, seeing value in other people, but in an ironic way where they can't value the way you see value. I feel the same way. I see that, and I understand that. I think you're going too far apologizing to Anton, because Anton won't reply to a really important kind of reaction he's gotten here. So you shouldn't apologize to him, besides it's an honor. To the Ephelis, it's not like they deserve an apology of the sort that I wronged you and you didn't wrong me, so therefore I apologize. On the other hand, since you have been engaged in conversation, that makes more sense as a personal. Don't apologize. unapologized for the Anton. By the way, my YouTube had dropped my sub for you, and because you don't make videos often, and or I spaced out, and it seemed like it was like a year I hadn't really seen your videos until I happened to see the Anton one, which was brilliant. That was brilliant, and an honor. You know, as a matter of fact, you know, I noticed over the years, and you had this saying on your page, I think at one point, or I saw you say in a comment, you know, you like looking for, you know, I forget how you phrased it. But anyway, you know, from our point of view, it's like, oh, you're a lateral thinker, and you come in laterally. And that's what I always secretly am hoping for, is more lateral. I even say things. I go out on a limb and I go, look, this is the limb. But nobody's looking at the direction where it looks like a limb, so yeah, what's the deal? How come you never broke my ideas down? I feel left out now. I was figuring you were just working your way around to it. So I guess I give up hopes of a Puro musical. Well, I also, when I saw this is kind of, I mean, if you're watching dospook, when I saw this, I was thinking about art and pain, you know, which is something I was thinking about talking about in terms of this, what is art, what is life and art kind of theme I've been doing some videos on lately. And about art and pain, physical pain and mental pain. I mean, I use artistic activities, creative activities, writing, drawing, playing musical instruments, as art therapy. You know, I decided a long time ago, I mean, my main thing is writing. Like, if I wanted to be a professional creative person in one of those traditional creative senses, you know, I would try to do it with writing, because I think, you know, that's the one where I have the skill where someone else might want to read that. But I realized I don't want to work my skill into that way, and I realized young that my art was important to me for processing basically my pain, my life, my joy as well. But certainly, you know, to the point where now in my life, if I have a problem, like I had a big falling out a couple times with my dad, and he's not real communicative. We couldn't hash it around between us. And, you know, when it's time for me just to cope with my feelings, I can't work on it or try to. Well, in the first time I made a cartoon. And I started drawing these cartoon panels. And cartoons can be really effective for someone that's not. I'm not a good, you know, visual artist. Like, I've had times when I had a picture in my head and it was just amazing, and I drew this amazing picture. Then I tried to draw it again, I never could. And I realized, well, it has something to do with getting that picture in your head, and people that can hold that kind of picture that somehow can go out through your fingers. And cartoons are good because if you have kind of that level of skill, then you can do, you know, you can make up your own kind of figure. It doesn't have to have a particular kind of style, and then you can just work on the consistency, because then you got to draw it from different angles, and for a not great artist, it's not that easy to make it even look like the same person every time. You have to figure out caricatures, and if you're doing this with an emotional situation, then you know, your emotions is what fills out those caricatures, and then you see them, and then you understand how you feel. Or I write a song. I write a song for things that I'm thinking about too much. So I didn't really want to sell my art, because I thought it was more valuable to me. You know, I think art is the solution to emotional pain. And, but I think creating it is the solution to emotional pain. On the other hand, my mom, who was went to school and was a trained artist, the Art Institute of San Francisco or something, I forget what it is, but it's this nice art school in San Francisco. She couldn't really be an artist. She gave it up because she was just dredging up pain from inside, and then she couldn't handle it. The art will bring the pain out, and it's like, if you're not going to get it all the way out or do the whole process, or there's too much, or you just don't want to go through that or whatever, or maybe you have another way to cope that's going to be more practical. But I believe you got to go through the art way and get that stuff out. You get it out into the world. And as art is like, even if it's ugly, it's like an inoculation. You know, I mean, an artistically done war movie doesn't create war. Right? So, I think I've never seen these kind of conversation groups go more than 2 or 3 years before all the drama broke it down. People complain about YouTube, and I see why. I mean, I just got a video flag where I used a jingle from iMovie. It was the Objectivism, Objective Metaphysics is Dead 3, and it's got a copyright thing, and I'm disputing it, and they're not getting right back to me. I mean, it's out of iMovie. So yeah. So that's not great, but on the other hand, I mean, like, other places I've been, they'll have some sort of ideological bent to the community. The nice thing is that it's every kind of community. And so, because like if it was liberal politics, there'd already be a bunch of great liberals and firebrand types that would have been kicked out as not liberal enough. So when you have a group, you know, it always works like that. So, if it has like a character, and so in a way YouTube is characterless, and that's been good for us. That's why we could discuss this other stuff. People aren't being kicked for having a particular philosophical opinion. On the other hand, over time, YouTube doesn't have a cross-sectional flavor. It is the Onision, Smosh, Jackass videos, and so those become the rules. We're gonna get kicked out for not being that way, and you know, seriously, because there's gonna be more tolerance, even, you know, for nudity or something among whatever it becomes. So there is an issue there, but I also think that you know, this stuff is just shakes out over time, and there gets to be a point. I'm against exclusivity. I want to create a kind of a pond, though, where things are naturally filtered, a little maybe more estuary, where there's an ecosystem of filtration, and it's all natural. Anybody can go where they want and do what they want. But if my dream comes true, the true trolls just will get burdened down. They won't thrive in this atmosphere. The scrutiny that's paid back to them, the light that's going to be shed on them, while not taking away their ability to shed light, right? They could tag things or whatever they want, and with their cruel tags, and trying to figure out the cruelest joke they can do out of their deep pain. But the way I see it in my head, the way the mathematics works, it won't matter, except to their other troll buddies who will be in their trust network, and, you know, they'll, you know, tag things how they want. And in a way, that's empowering them, and so in a way, they can't say I'm doing anything against them. On the other hand, making you have cohesion is what makes other people be able to go, oh, there they are. There's a lot of people, these little communities, as snipers of the actual trolls, or those people that are getting angry, or just the regular interpersonal drama. It goes on because it's under the current. No one can see it. When it comes to light, it's so ugly that even the people that were taking part go, "Oh, that's what." Not all of them, but